Oh, we'll get him up here and we'll introduce him. There's an eerie silence over the room. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, my partner in crime, managing editor of UV Magazine, Mr. Editor. Please, sit down. You all get a mic. Here, I got a... All right. Yeah, I've been blabbing for a while, offending everybody with horrible off-color jokes. I'm going to introduce our panel down the road, and then you all give them a big, giant hand of applause, and we'll begin this thing.
Welcome to Cinema Wasteland 19, everybody. And here we have the esteemed Ruggero Deodato panel. And starting on my right, the luminary director Ruggero Deodato himself. Francesca Chardy, the Cannibal Holocaust. Michael Berryman, who worked with Deodato on Cut and Run, The Barbarians, and other films. David Hess, a real living legend. Third in House on the Edge of the Floor. You have one right in front of you.
No, but then come on.
And Carl Gabriel York.
I can count.
We got enough.
We have enough mics. Are you okay? Do you have a microphone?
Don't do
Kind of dumb, drunk, and worthless, but believe me, we have mics. We have an AV guy. He just dresses like him.
Before we get to the legend himself, I thought maybe we could have each member of the panel describe what their first impressions were of Ruggero Deodato when they met him.
Oh, for Christ's sakes.
Well, we won't start with you, Hess.
All right, well, I'll start.
Hello.
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 So I'm Carl York. I'm in Cannibal Holocaust. Wow, just saying that out loud gives me the chills.
Half the people, 3/4 of the people here just saw you die.
So yeah, oh, did they play the movie
Yeah,
already?
we played the movie before the panel.
So, the scene where Guillermo's getting his leg cut off, that was the first day I arrived on the set. Guillermo, I don't know what his name was in the movie, but he was the guide. And he gets his leg cut off because he's gotten bitten by a snake. And we cut off his leg so that the poison won't go into his body, but he dies anyway, of course. So that was my first day on the set. They brought me into Bogota. Then 2 days later, they brought me into Leticia by plane. There's only 2 planes a week into a little town. And I hadn't read the script, and I had never met Ruggero, and he'd never met me. And they put me in a boat. I got off the plane. I stopped at my little bungalow. They put me in a boat. They drove me 45 minutes up the river. As I'm going up the river, I see a human leg floating down the river. And I get to the set, and actually I had to walk across, it was all muddy, and you had to walk across these boards to get to the set. And Ruggero looked at me and he goes, "Oh, what a beautiful face, what a wonderful face." Okay, costumes, makeup, and he just slapped me into a costume and walked me right up to the edge of the pit where Guillermo was laying there all ashen, and you know, I really wasn't sure what was going on, and you know, we cut off his leg again, and that was my first shot, and that was my first impression of Ruggero.
Practically a leg cutter.
Yes.
I got a call at 5 o'clock in the morning from a guy named Sesta Chifero. And he says, "You want to do a film?" I said, "Get the fuck off the phone, man. It's too early for that shit." "No. You want to do a film?" Well, that's what I do. Yeah. Don't call me later. No, we got to talk now because the director is here. Oh, so you're not the director? You just no, the director is with me. Well, tell the director to go fuck himself. Call back later. So no, Ruggero and I have done what, 6 films together? 7 films? 6? How many? How many films have we
How
done?
many films did you do with David?
Too much.
Yeah, too many.
The answer to that, if you didn't catch it, was 1 too many.
Anyway, the one I missed out on was Cannibal Holocaust, essentially, and I'm glad because I don't speak Spanish that well. In any case, we're old friends, good friends, and my first impression of him was when he picked me up at the airport and didn't smile for 45 minutes back to Rome.
Yes, you're allowed to clap.
I remember getting a call from a guy named Robbie Little telling me about a director named Ruggero Deodato and a movie we were doing in the Amazon. It was cut and run. And they sent me the script, and I had to get my malaria pills and passport up to speed. And I, of course, checked on the globe where I was going to. Flew into Caracas. We had a lovely banquet dinner. It was hosted by a gentleman in a white uniform who was general of the National Police. His name was Hugo Chavez. And actually a very intriguing, interesting person. I had some conversations with him, I'll share later at my table. And then the next day, we get to, on the airport, we fly way down into the Amazon and to Guyana. And the canopy, if you don't know about the rainforest, well, it's pretty darn big down there, and you go back in time, it was just incredible. The oxygen content was, the air was thick, it was vibrant, you could feel and hear the jungle grow. And at our hotel, which was very nice, Ruggero, thank you, we had these look, the Italians do it right. When you're working on a set with the Italians, when you have lunch, you sit down to a tablecloth and a real civilized meal and wine, and then afterwards, after they're brutalizing you all day long on the set, you come back to the hotel, we all shower, we put on our nice clothes, we have a family dinner for an hour and a half, and it's all a love fest. But during the course of the day, it was very challenging. From the set near the hotel, there was these little paths, and there were snakes that would kill you in like 30 seconds, called fertilants. And that was a little harrowing, okay? And then we went farther down into the jungle, near Canaima, and we were really in the bush, okay? So bad that I remember being on a hut in the river, and we go by boat, and I'm going, if anybody gets bit, there were spiders as big as your head, by the way, and it would rain, and it rained like 20 feet by the time we were there. And I remember one day, Ruggero was in the boat with the camera operator and the crew, and they're going upriver. They didn't come back for about 2.5 hours. I was stuck in this little hut with a parrot and 2 other actors waiting for everybody to come back. It rained so hard, after a while, I couldn't see more than 10 feet. And they come back, and there's Willie and the rest of them, and they were not happy because we were drenched. But, hey, Ruggero was drenched too. But sometimes he would do something very naughty. He'd like to take the oar and make the boat move to where these spiders were as big as your face, and the spider would, remember those spiders? And then he thought it was cute, but we got him later. And so my first
it was a shot.
Yes, my first impression was, I don't know what I'm getting into, but this is a very charming fellow who speaks a language I don't quite understand. But after a while, I understood. Italians speak with their heart, and I have done 3 jobs with him since then, and it was fantastic. And I'm just glad I survived the jungle, because I had a scene for an hour and a half with a fighting scene in the river, and I knew that the water was muddy, and I said, no piranha, because I did my research. I did know that you don't pee in the river. You've seen the show on, you just don't, trust me. And then there's another thing that I found out later when I went to sit down on a log after this big long fight scene. One of our guys took a machete and killed a snake right near my butt. And I'm going, I'm really nervous, I'm in the middle of the jungle, and there's no medevac airport, to get me out of here if I get harmed. And Ruggero goes, oh, Michael, it could have bit me as easily as you. What's the problem?
So Costa Rica was a cakewalk. Huh?
It was. And then I go to the Indios guides and I go, well, thank you for killing the snake, and I'm so glad there's no piranha because this is a muddy river, and I was up to my knees in mud for an hour and a half. And here's what he tells me.
I said, you know, when you see one snake, you must to do.
Yeah, right.
That's what my grandma would have told you, hit it with a stick.
Well, they told me that the mud was safe, but it wasn't, Ruggero. Electric eels like to hang out in the mud. So it gave me a panic attack, but we did a beautiful film. The photography that his people do, they worked with him for many years for a reason.
Talking about cut and run, Mike?
Cut and Run, I'm talking about Barbarians, I'm talking about We Are Angels. Ruggero's people are family, and they are true artists. I salute.
Has anybody seen Cut and Run? Yeah! Well, I like to say, you know, as far as it goes, Michael's performance is great. He doesn't utter a word in it. You know? And he shows
He was too frightened.
Yeah. Well, it's all them damn snakes and spiders.